Good morning, welcome to day 70 of your daily wellness, and today we are doing mountain pose. So standing pose, really simple, don't need any equipment, don't need any special clothes, nothing today. But it is really important because how often are we standing in the kitchen, in the supermarket, in a queue for something, and we're just not standing right. We're putting extra strain on the body. Either we're like this, putting strain on this hip, we push the knees back, hyperextending the knees, we either slump forwards or we arch the back, or whatever we do, we tend not to be doing it with good form. So if we can learn to do Tadasana well, standing pose well, that means that naturally our body will start to pull into alignment even when we're not necessarily thinking about it, which will make us stand with more ease and less strain on the body, which is better for everyone in the long run. So that's what we're going to focus on today. So it's not a useless, ignore it, whatever session. So to begin with, just bring the balls of the big toes together, but leave the heels maybe an inch or two apart. And notice instantly how this makes you feel. If your knees feel like they're rolling in, just bring them out a little. And this will also kind of help to stop hyperextending through the knees. So try to bring the knees kind of parallel. Press with the outside edge of the foot as well as just the inside. Don't let the weight roll in. Feel that activation starting to happen through the legs. And notice how you're less likely to just dump your weight back in your knees. Notice how you get this activation through the legs. You also feel your butt start to engage, and maybe your lower abdomen. Maybe you start to feel this lengthening through the front, but this can also hyperextend through the spine. So from here we just bring a little tuck, so just a tiny little tuck, just enough that you feel like we're actually stacking up tall, chest is open, shoulders back and down, chin is tucked. Notice if you let the feet go and turn the toes out and stand however you normally would, how you instantly kind of get those bad habits back. So you don't necessarily have to stand with feet close together, you can stand with them a little further apart, so let's do it about hip distance. But look down at your feet. Are they parallel? Or are the toes turning out a little or the heels turning out a little? That's fine. So the alignment through your legs, through your ankles and hips may mean that they turn in or out a little bit. But what we want is not to ignore it so much that they're turning out and it means that we're rolling in, or that they're turning in and we're kind of rolling onto the outside edge of the foot. What we want to do is press with the big toe, the next toe, the next toe, the next toe equally. We want to press with the toes and the heels equally. So take a moment as you stand with hip distance apart. Roll forwards onto your toes. Notice if all 5 toes engage. Roll back onto the heel. Notice if you roll in or out. Use the appropriate muscles to make sure that both inside and outside are active, that this movement is forwards and back, but the legs aren't moving in and out. We're not rolling in and out. Make the movement a little smaller and a little smaller and a little smaller. And you'll start to find a midpoint. And this is a point where you feel like your toes aren't really gripping because they don't really need to. Your ankles aren't super active because we're not rolling to one side or the other. There's no weight dumped anywhere. We're just stacking the ankle above the heel. And then take a moment to notice how the knees feel. Maybe give them a little bend and straighten, bend and straighten. And notice that when we straighten, we're not pushing all the way back through the knee, because actually stacking the knee above the ankle isn't hyperextending back, which makes your weight shift into your heel. Knee above the ankle is literally directly above the ankle. As you do this, your hips should start to fall into alignment. Take a moment to feel this sensation of hips stacked above knees, stacked above ankles, stacked above heels. Not a lot of effort is required when we stack the bones properly. You may be feeling some sort of effort through spine and core. So what we want to do if we're out here, or if we're hunched over here, is just build from the floor, get that stability all the way up, that stacking, and then start to move through the spine, forwards, backwards, side and side, maybe some circles, and then make those movements a little smaller. Start to notice what it feels like at that central point when you feel stacked. Maybe you're so used to arching forward or slumping forward that when you actually stack, you feel like you're leaning back. Feel the lengthening up. Maybe take a little shuffle as you feel your spine grow. The shoulders are back and down and your chest is open. You have the space to take a deep breath. So neck is neither having to reach forward as we slump and get this sort of angle, nor if we're arching are we sort of pulling back. We can keep the neck in line. We've got plenty of space between chin and chest and no creases in the back of the neck. So take a little feel of the back of your neck. We should have neither double chin nor creases in the back, nor this kind of strain. So come back to that sensation. Weights are stacked between the front and back, inside and outside. Ankle over heel, knee over ankle, hip over knee. Each vertebra stacked above the hips till you get the heart directly above the hips, above the pelvis. Still stacking the vertebra until the head is above the heart. Don't reach it forwards. Find the length all the way through the back and sides of the neck as the shoulders come down and you grow tall, taking big, full breaths. When you stand in alignment through the spine and the chest is open, we naturally breathe deeper. We take more oxygen in, we get rid of more of the waste products that we don't need in our body. We feel more alive, more awake. When we stack the body, we're using less energy to hold the body. So when you stand properly, it's actually easier for you in the long run. And of course, we're not causing strain. So as you stand here, I want you to let your eyes drift closed. Notice if your body almost instantly starts to want to roll around and move. If you need to, you can take the feet a little wider. In fact, let's do that. Let's everyone take your feet a little wider. This will give you a bit more stability. Maybe the toes turn out a little, maybe not. If you just want to get that nice balance between inside and outside. The knees are in direct alignment between the heels and the hips. We stand tall. Bring your hands to your hips. This is an incredibly empowering pose. We are taking up space. When we are more confident, we naturally take up more space. You'll notice, the people that sort of stand with the hands behind the head, the people that stand wide are the confident people. And this is body language. But we can also make ourselves feel more confident and more powerful by using the body language. So our mind will respond to what our body is doing. So taking an empowering pose like this when you've got a difficult day or you feel all the stresses coming in or you need to have a difficult conversation with someone and you just want to feel powerful, you want to be able to do what you need to do. Take this pose. Take a moment to close your eyes. Feel that strength, that power in your body, grounding down through the feet. This strength coming up from the ground, through your strong legs, through the spine. Feel that big expansion as we take in all the air we need. Refresh your body and mind. Big exhales as you let go of all the carbon dioxide and all the other waste products that we don't need. Each inhale we grow, each exhale we let go of what we don't need. And take a moment to relax into your Tadasana. So you can choose a width of your choice for your feet. You can take them together, hips, shoulder distance, generally not much wider because we don't normally stand much wider than that. Take a moment to imagine feeling this power coming up through your body. Notice if you're starting to lock the knees or hyperextend through the spine or hunch over, and correct it. Stand in a way that makes it easiest to breathe. Stand in a way that stacks and makes it easiest to stand. No strain, we're balanced. We're balancing the bones one on top of the other. We're letting nature, letting gravity hold us in place rather than having to use all our muscles or put extra strain on the connective tissues. Feel what this is in your body and do this practice often. When you're in the kitchen waiting for the kettle to boil, take a minute to stand. Notice how you're standing. When you get up in the morning, take a moment to stand. Maybe look out the window, listen to the birds. Take a moment to really check in and start the day with this standing pose. When you're in the shower, stand. Try and balance your weight. It's more difficult in the shower because the baths are curved if you're in a bath. So you have to bring the feet close together. But just take some time throughout the day to start to do this. You will train yourself to stand in alignment. So I apologise, it feels like it's been a bit of a lecture today. But I feel like we all just ignore Tadasana, we ignore standing pose, and it's probably one of the most important poses that we can learn for everyday life and for your health. So now would be a really great time if you have a balancing pose in your practice, because Tadasana is a really grounding pose, so you can use that alignment to work on your tree poses or your flamingo or whatever balances you want to do, or your strong warriors. Now is a really good time to practice those. Otherwise, let's see what we're going to do for tomorrow's yoga. So, speaking of balance poses, tomorrow we have dancer's pose. So, all similar to flamingo, but we take the leg a little further away. So, a bit of a balance tomorrow. We'll use the grounding. We'll build on what we've done today. A big opening through the front of the hip. Great if you are running or exercising, or if you sit a lot. We tend to get tight through the front here. And good for the focus, for relieving stress as well on a balance. So, thank you for joining me. Namaste, and I will see you again tomorrow for your next dose of daily wellness.